Ladies and gentlemen, the world of tennis is not just about rallies and rankings, it's about reflection. It's about voices. And in the grand theater of sport, silence can sometimes echo louder than words. Enter Emma Raducanu, a young British star, a Grand Slam champion at 18, a player who stunned the world with her US Open triumph. She rose like lightning, ignited a nation's pride, and became a global face almost overnight. But now, she finds herself at the center of a very different kind of storm. Not one of backhands or break points, but of beliefs, of positioning, of responsibility. In a recent interview, Raducanu was asked about equal pay in tennis, a topic that has raged on for decades, igniting fierce debates, protests, op-eds, and policy shifts. And her response? Not a rallying cry, not a rebuttal, not even a declaration of neutrality with context. Just silence, dressed in a casual shrug. I just prefer to kind of not get involved in just whatever. Those were the words. Simple, unfiltered, and now, deeply controversial. Because for a generation of players fighting every day for equality in prize money, sponsorships, and recognition, that silence doesn't land gently. It lands like a missed return on break point. Raducanu's stance, or lack thereof, speaks volumes, not necessarily about her character, but about a broader tension in sports. Can a player of her influence afford to say nothing? Should someone who has benefited from a system built by women like Billie Jean King, Serena Williams, Venus Williams, and Martina Navratilova, women who spoke when it was hardest to do so, opt out of the conversation entirely? There's no easy answer. But the questions are louder than ever. Emma Raducanu is only 22. She's still finding her footing in a world that's both adoring and unforgiving. She's navigating fame, pressure, injury, recovery, and now, a complex political terrain that stretches far beyond the baseline. And yet, her words matter. Her platform matters. Her silence matters. Because when Billie Jean King fought for equal prize money at the US Open in 1973, she didn't do it alone. She did it with the knowledge that future players would carry the torch. Not just in forehands and footwork, but in principle. When Serena Williams spoke out on motherhood, race, and pay disparities, she wasn't speaking just for herself. She was paving a path for the next generation. And now, that next generation is here. Emma is part of it. A symbol of it. That's why her stance is jarring. It's not because she's required to become an activist. No one is forced to lead movements. But to sidestep the conversation entirely, with a flippant, whatever, risks being seen not as apolitical, but as apathetic. In an era where athletes are expected, and empowered, to use their voice, neutrality is a luxury many fans and peers find hard to justify. This is not just about dollars. It's about value, visibility, respect. It's about acknowledging that for decades, women in tennis have played just as hard, drawn just as many fans, sold just as many tickets, and often walked away with less. And while some progress has been made, Grand Slams now offer equal prize money, many ATP and WTA tournaments still operate under unequal pay structures. When Emma chooses not to engage, intentionally or not, it reverberates. Because she isn't just another player. She's Emma Raducanu, a global icon, a crossover celebrity. A player whose voice could amplify the struggle, whose support could inspire the next wave of change. To stay silent is, in effect, to speak. Some might defend her. She's young, they'll say. She's focused on her game. She didn't ask to be a role model. But that argument fades fast when you realize she's accepted sponsorship deals, brand ambassadorships, and media attention that come not just from her game, but from her image. And image, in sport today, is power. Power to sell, power to inspire, power to challenge, and sometimes, power to disappoint. This moment for Emma could have been a turning point. A chance to take a stand. To support her peers. To say something that matters beyond her win-loss record. But instead, we're left with a void. Whatever. It's hard. No one denies that. Fame came fast for Emma. The expectations are brutal. But leadership, even reluctant leadership, often finds you before you're ready. The question now isn't whether she'll bounce back from injury. We know she will. The question is whether she'll grow into the leader her spotlight demands. Because tennis doesn't just need champions on the court. It needs voices in the room. Voices that echo through silence. that carry the work of those who came before, that speak not just for themselves, but for the millions watching. Emma still has that chance. This story isn't over. But for now, in a sport where every point counts, her silence feels like a point lost. Not just for her, but for the movement.